right, guys, welcome back. We are now starting on the episode about basically how sports has affected our lives and maybe how it can affect kids' lives that have been in environments that are not basically perfect or advantageous for growth socially and developmentally with personality. So that took me forever to say that. Today's going to be a really weird day. So we got that out of the mess out of the way, so we're just going to continue talking. So basically, we got our fantastic guest, Wayne McPike. He is going to basically just help us along with just a little bit about his field. Wayne, if you could too, first of all, introduce yourself to the group. And if you just explain a little bit about what you've done in the past in this field, about what sports and youth activities has done to help children get out of situations or even develop them socially. And then we can just all go from there.
Yeah, I've worked with kids probably half my life, so sports have been really great for kids, you know, and just get them out of the house and getting them involved in things. And, you know, even if it isn't sports, just anything, just get them here to the Y. And so it's been great, you know, and Nathan's seen me a lot bringing kids up and get them involved. And like you said, just get them out of the house, get them to be able to be involved and do things. So I think that's, and especially me as a child, you know, coming here as a kid and, you know, watching my dad play. And so basketball was my you know, my free segue to get out of the house. Okay. And so it's helped me along the way, and I want to hope that I can give that back to kids and show they have opportunities and everything. So
what would you say, honestly, maybe to the group and even people hearing this, what was it about basketball that you said helped segue, it helped you personally when you were growing up?
It just kind of helped me be a better person. It helped me socialize and, you know, be around groups of people and stuff and be a team player and stuff. So it kind of helped me just around everything aspects of basketball, you know, not only just teamwork, just, you know, being around friends and having fun. So it was just great. So I don't know, you know, I think I would have been okay without it, but still I think it helped me along the way. So.
And so you think, something I'm more curious about, what I was really excited about putting this on the podcast is, and we all have stories of people that we see in youth, even ourselves, that sports has changed our lives for who we are. We know we talked in the video with Coach and Claire about why sports is good for people in general, you know, just developing them growing to be good, strong adults. But the avenue is what I've done most of my life is sports ministry. You know, taking in people that had hard lives and that couldn't afford sports, and in return we taught them, you know, abilities, and we taught them how to basically the characteristics of Christ and all that kind of thing, and just loved on them. And we saw development as an adult, but youth is a little different. So if you maybe to a group, and then we can maybe start talking about this, is maybe tell us a little bit about not person's names, of course, but maybe like generalized stories of where you've seen like the worst case scenario where maybe introducing like a sport or activity to their lives and what maybe that have done for them, maybe as an adult now or whatever. So
I got a kid now that I'm working with. He's 5, and so he's just trying to work on getting him out of the house and everything. And so I've kind of introduced him I took him to the park lately, and we just been getting out. I'll take a basketball, soccer ball, something just to get him out and get involved. And so he's starting to pick it up a little more, and he's starting to love it, you know. And that's the fun part. That's the, you know, rewarding part of the job, to just see a kid smile and know that there's other things besides the tablet and the PlayStation that, you know, I can be involved with. So, you know, and you need that outside time, you know. And so we've been working on it. It's been a few weeks, and it's starting to progress a little more, so it's getting better. But he's starting to love it now. And that's now awesome. He's calling me up, or his mom will call and say, hey, can he come get me something to go play basketball? So that's even better. You know, awesome. That he's understanding that that's what he wants to do. So, yeah.
You hit on a good point there. I mean, especially in today's world, like, I mean, the screen time is just out of control right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, exercise is half the equation, but it's important half the equation. I mean, we obviously got to focus on our kids' nutrition as well at home, and that starts at home a lot too. But honestly, like, say you don't have that education at home, or that child doesn't have that support system of just like how to live a healthy lifestyle. I mean, sports or just the Y in general, surrounding that child with a positive environment around other people who maybe know a little bit about that. Hopefully we do, about how to live a healthy lifestyle, an active lifestyle, how to eat right. And, you know, they may not be getting that at home at all. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just putting a plug in for the Y as a whole, but I mean, our sports are a great way to just surround and get plugged into that community of people who are just trying to live healthier in life. I know that's what it was for me, and without sports, I wouldn't be where I am today. I mean, granted, I went through this whole, I lost my way for a little bit, especially, but now that I think about it, this just came to me. When I got to my heaviest is when I stopped playing sports. Okay? I stopped playing baseball in college, so my activity went down and my bad eating and other habits went up. And I blew up. And I think since I lost that accountability of sports, really, like, I had no reason to continue to train like I was or be fit like I had to be, because I just wasn't playing. I lost that reason why, and then I had to find a new reason why.
Yeah.
It was just, because I saw myself getting crazy unhealthy. So I just kind of put two and two together. Is when I stopped playing sports is when I actually got so crazy unhealthy.
Do you think you playing youth sports at that time gave you that drive as an adult now to become healthy? Like, you felt that same craving as what you did when you were younger? Do you think that has the same correlation?
Absolutely. I mean, I think, I grew up in sports. And I think just establishing that foundation at a young age, like, I knew kind of my way around a weight room. Like, it wasn't brand new to me. I wasn't so out of shape, that I didn't exactly know how to get back, or, like, at least where to start.
Yeah.
Without that groundwork, I mean, I don't know what I would have done, really, like sports and football and baseball, and just, it kind of at least gave me a footing to go back to, like, hey, I know what I need to do, I just need to do it, type of thing. And establishing those behaviors at a young age. Obviously, I don't want people to get derailed like I did. Hopefully you just continue down that journey, but at least if you do lose track, what to do, like, hey, who to talk to or how to get back, or like, hey, I did this before, I just got to do it again, type of thing. So, that's very important.
I like what you said about youth sports. Kind of turning off youth sports and all that is motivation. When I was a kid, I was a bad student. The only reason I did well in school was I needed my grades to play my sport. And so my whole world was soccer, and I needed to be good in the classroom so that I could do my sport. I needed to be good outside of the classroom so I could have the opportunity to play my sport. I needed to have a healthy lifestyle, because if I didn't eat right or anything, I wasn't going to be successful at my sport. So everything revolved around me being a soccer player. And when I was a kid, I was convinced I was going to play for Manchester United because David Beckham played there. So I had to, you had to have the grade. Mom and Dad wouldn't let me play if I didn't have the grades. So it was one of those, I had to keep my grades right, do everything right. And then once I got to high school, I quickly realized I should have been picked up by Ashtonville or Manchester United Academy, which I wasn't. So now sports took a different turn to where it was my reason I woke up to go to high school. Was my motivation to go to college. Like, this could be my ticket to my education now, because I'm not going to be a professional. Now I need to refocus my sports on the things I need. So sports was always my motivation in life. I needed sports to keep me accountable for my life.
And it gave you that natural path to revolve on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a forward direction for me. This is where sports is going. This is where I'm going. The only way I can be on board, get myself right in the classroom, get myself right in my personal life. Because if I have issues going outside of the classroom, I can't be on the field. And I had wonderful coaches through my youth career when things weren't going right in the classroom. I can remember nothing more embarrassing going to your practice and having to sit there and do homework because you didn't have it right in the classroom, and the coach wouldn't let you. Nothing more embarrassing too than having to go to practice and just stand there because you couldn't get yourself right outside of the classroom and at home and in the neighborhood, and just have to stand there and watch your team practice because you've disrespected the coach and the team, so you're not welcome to be there. So
feel like outsider of your family almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing is, youth sports was a family to me. All those guys, I felt like I go into battle with them at times when we get into those games. So it was one of those, I never wanted to let them down. So letting your teammates down is high motivation to continue doing well outside of your sport.
And you hit something really good, and this is something that sort of changed my thinking on a lot, and this is why I was really glad to bring you in. There's a good friend of mine, his name's Ramal Brown. He works with a lot of the North Tulsa youth, struggling youth. And he told me, because I was asking, like, man, what is it that you're so pushing like youth activities and youth sports. And he said, listen, he said, kids are going to go into sports no matter what, especially in the struggling neighborhoods. It's just what group's going to get them. Is it going to be the gangs and the bad crowd, or is it going to be you that's going to change their life? And that just sort of hit me going, wow, it's not just we're the only game in here that's just going to go in and, hey, we guys, let's do some flag football. And you've got the bad crowd that's going to use the same as that tool to put their life down a rotten path or a bad path. And so I think it's not just a enjoyment, but it's a responsibility, I think, on our behalf to be that light. And I think that's the YMCA here especially is done well with what Tom and Nathan have been doing with the basketball at nighttime and things like that. Those kids respect you guys massively. And it's a great tool, like what Sean's been doing with his ministry at nighttime with the basketball, and those kids are totally listening, totally dialed in.
That's cool.
That's one of his major talents. So, I mean, what do you think individually with you guys? And this is something I'm really interested with everybody here, because I personally have had a great life. I had good parents, a good support group. It was awesome. So I didn't really have to do as much struggles as a lot of people have had in their lives. My exposure was always available. My parents were always there for every sport activity I've done. And so I really haven't had that much of an issue. Most of my problems I've done because I was a spoiled brat. You know what I mean? So I'd be really interested to hear from a different perspective about what sports has done for you guys and maybe giving you guys a different direction and where you were and where you started. So.
And I think for me personally, I had a long period of time. I mean, I had done youth sports here at the Y since I was little, dabbled in almost every sport that was offered. And then as I got older, continuing on, there was a point where, the school would have like talent shows where they have something everybody's like, well, I can sing, I can dance. Well, I can't do either of those. I'm god awful at singing, and I am so uncoordinated when it comes to dancing, it's not even funny. And so it was kind of...
Can you give us a sample?
He ended up turning punches. Do you want to
go down? Because that's what happened.
Boost viewers.
I would love to see you dance, man.
I kind of had that stint where it was like almost lost because I'm like, what am I good at? I don't know what I'm good at, but dabbling in the sports, dabbling in different activities, being active, being out there would kind of, I think it gives you the opportunity to learn a little more about yourself each time.
Yeah.
And granted, what I ended up realizing I was good at and what I had a passion for was not necessarily something that was promoted, in typical school setting.
Let's just hope not.
talent show.
Maybe after school activities,
but it, all the sports along that way led me to realizing this is what my talent is, this is what my skill, this is what I'm good at, this is where I fit. And I acquired other skills along the way that, enabled me to be better with people. Learn respect. That was a big one, is learning respect and discipline from, the coaches and everything else. And so I think a lot of the things that were taught in athletics throughout my life have helped me kind of become the guy I am today and learn the traits that I now have.
That's awesome.
Because of that. So.
And Wayne, I was curious, with the organization that you work with, if you can explain a little bit about what they do and then what you're currently doing the same kind of topic and what it's doing for the people inside this community, and then also what youth sports can be applied with that. So could you give us a little bit of an insight on what you're doing?
Kind of what I'm doing is just kind of counseling kids, and so it varies from all ages 5 to 18. And so they come in, they get assessed, and it could be anything, depression, working on people's skills, just everything,
Okay.
and so, and a lot of the kids that I got 30 kids, and believe me, they're all single parents. And so that's the tough part, because mom's trying to be mom and dad, and so it's tough.
Wow.
And so me being a male figure and just trying to understand, like, I've been through some of the things, and I haven't been through a lot of things they've been through. A lot of these kids are coming from foster parents and 6 or 7 different homes and stuff, and so it's so tough, and they're jumping everywhere, and so they're not establishing a secure place. And
No
so,
trust.
And there's no trust, and nobody, and people's giving up on them. And so that's one thing I work on every day when I go out to one of my kids. I treat them all the same. I give them the same love, and you got to be hard on them,
Yeah.
and so you got to love them, and you give them rewards and when they fail, and so it's just getting them out in the community and just getting them around other people, like you said, and they're into video games, and so that's all they know. And so, you get to 10 or 11, 12 years old, you kind of know right from wrong, but a 5-year-old kid, he doesn't know. And, like he was saying about or when you said you got to your biggest pick of getting big, well, I got kids that are...
Not big in a good way.
Well, I know. I mean, like, yeah,
not a good
but I
thing.
got kids that are bigger, and so
Yeah.
they don't know if they're overweight. You know, they just don't.
Yeah.
They don't know. They don't. You know.
Perception's reality.
Exactly. They don't know. They just eat and and so I got a couple kids that I've been working on and they've lost some weight, but they at 6, 7 years old they don't see that change. They just think, okay,
It's
lost
natural.
weight. It is natural, and so but that's where home comes in. That's where you're established and you learn that at a young age, and then like you were saying, you learn that as you get older, and so that's the tough part. Is just having them understand that. Now I got kids at 16, 17 that are overweight, and now they know that. But they've always been that, and so they don't know how to lose it, and so it's a mind processing thing just to get them to understand, like, hey, we can get there. But like you said, there's no trust, and I'm trying to build trust with these kids, and not, every time I meet with them, I've always met with them, and so I'm always going to be there for them, and I tell them that, and so.
And you definitely back up what you do.
You do, and so, and if I'm not the person that's the strongest and bring it, then kids ain't got no help, and so, and working with the families too, just saying, hey, if me and you don't work together, the kid ain't got a chance,
Exactly.
because there's only so much I can do out of 8 hours a day, and so.
And do you think some of those kids getting involved in some kind of youth activity has been a big opportunity where it becomes a second family to them? I mean,
Yep.
what has been your experience with that when you're introducing those kids to those kind of activities?
Oh yeah, it's like a second home. They, I'll call parents up and they'll go, hey, such and such got involved in baseball. He's never played baseball, but he's loving it, and just being around other people, and so learning that and teaching that, it's going to instill in them later on. But there's a handful of kids that I've got that I've started to enroll them in different things and stuff. So we'll see where it goes.
And I see a lot of young men that didn't have sports. They lived in real rough lives. And when I'm meeting them when they're 15, 16 years old, and they almost have no conscience of what's wrong and right. You know what I mean? They didn't get that concept of, hey, we need to work as a team. We're talking to them and saying, hey, I need you to do this for me. I need you to help me with this. I need us to work together so we don't let other people down. So what?
Yeah.
They've always had to fend for themselves.
I was wondering if we
So-
could spend a little time talking about life lessons that we've learned from sports. I mean, one that stands out to me and has been just a major driver in my whole life. And I don't know if I was like, if this was I was born with it and sports just naturally fueled it, or if I like learned it from sports and it's just kind of carried me through. But it's competition and work ethic. And most people think competition and sports, they go hand in hand, but really competition can serve you well in life.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a competitive person. I have my own business and stuff. When there's something to win, I'm all in.
Oh,
yeah.
I want first, and I'm not afraid to work for it. Work ethic is another one.
Yeah.
And those two are things that have served me so well. I wanted to get the highest GPA because I wanted to win. I just wanted to win in life, and was willing to put in the work. I think another thing is how to handle winning and losing. How to lose. We need to teach our kids how to lose.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to lose, but they got to learn that you're not always
Gonna
going to
win.
win.
And you learn
how
the
to
best
handle
from
it.
failure.
You have to
You learn from failure.
Makes you a stronger person.
Yeah, either it's bad or good learning. You
Yeah.
learn something from failure. Just who's going to lift you up
And that's what
pick
I
you up,
love
and
about
that's the team.
sports is there's a winner and there's a loser, and you
Yeah,
can win.
100%.
You can
And
win, or you can learn from both.
And it's depending on when you lose, what are the people telling you?
Yes.
What are they beating you down? They say you're never going to be anything, because I just see so many kids losing their lives, and you see it just off of defeat, and it kills me to see young kids at 20 years old losing their life because they lost a job, or they lost,
Yes,
It's
we
gonna happen.
Our
Yeah.
kids
You
have
know,
to
and
learn how to lose.
you lose. Exactly.
I think something that's really key that you kind of touched on as well is anywhere there's a lot of instability in homes,
It is.
a lot of instability with a lot of the kids, and having a place to go, whether it's with you or being here at the Y with their staff, that provides them that little bit of stability that even if things change at home or they're bouncing from house to house, they still know
So
they
that-
can come here and they still have that
That's
stability
right.
here.
That's right.
And I think that really plays a key role in a lot of people's lives, is having, that second family, that stability, somewhere where they can go and feel safe and accepted.
Exactly.
Yeah, even summer camp. I mean, we've experienced a story of a young man that's in summer camp that was struggling bad, and We just heard in the meeting the other day that the kid's doing wonderful. He's
Good.
turning around and
great.
he's learning social skills and being able to speak respectfully. And he has some issues and tantrums, but it's not as half as bad as what it was. And you know, it is a good thing of having good peer pressure. You know what I mean? You want your kid to succeed. Put him in a moment to be peer pressure around really successful children. You know, the old statement is that if you were the best one in the room and the best one, the brightest one in your group, you need a new group.
Yeah.
You know, and so putting these kids into the points where they have to be peer pressured to do well is a good natural lesson. You know what I mean? And I think too that we've talked a lot. And I've gotten a big pleasure to know you, Nathan. And one thing that you kept telling me a little bit about your life story, and I'm just sort of interested about because sports is your thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, you don't really have to go. You might not be the best softball player, according to some people.
There we go.
You know, missing more than the swing. And that's
No, don't do that.
So no, but I'm sort of curious about what was it that was the big thing that kept you going and became the man who you are with sports? I mean, because everything revolves sports around you.
Like I said, it goes back to, like I said, when I was little, I didn't have a dad growing up. So my grandpa got me into everything. You know, we tried our football, we tried our soccer, we tried our baseball. Obviously, baseball was what I was good at, so that's what we singled out. But, you know, what it did was it gave me that discipline. So throughout life, you know, no matter how hot it is, you go to practice. No matter, you know, how tired you are, you go to practice. And if you do that and succeed at that, later in life, you're going to do that throughout your life. And that was a big part of it, you know. And
That's another huge life lesson that our kids need to learn.
yep, it's a structure. You really do.
Yeah.
And when I got to high school, I didn't play baseball. I ran track, something totally different. Never even done that. So, you know, it just kind of, you know, it swerved me over. So I was even good at that. So, I don't know. Sports has always been a part of my life. I've loved it my whole life. It was into my head at a young age, as I'm doing for my son now. You know, my son plays baseball. He does football. I mean, he's doing every little thing. But getting him to every practice, give him that structure, you know. Hey, Dad, you know, he wants to go out and play ball all the time. He doesn't want to be in the house. And we don't do a lot of video games. I let him play, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes on a tablet a week.
That's great.
And I do that not to keep him from video games, but more or less just to get him to understand we should be outside doing something, not
Yeah.
inside. And he loves it.
Our best memories are outside with the team.
It is.
Or something, you know.
You know, for Father's Day, every year for Father's Day, I do one thing. The only thing I ask for, I don't want gifts or anything. I want to play catch with my son. That's the most important thing to me every Father's Day. We've done it since day one. So that's a part of it. I mean, just sports has just been great for me. It's going to be good for my kid. He loves it. He always likes to go outside and be outside doing something. He don't care if it's 100 degrees out. He wants to play the ball.
That's
Does
awesome.
not care. So.
You know, and I think the father, they definitely say, has a really big effect. The mother has an amazing effect. It's all about that balance. You know, and sometimes you have parents that don't know how to be parents. And so you look at these kids just sort of sitting around being babysitted by the TV and stuff like that. And I've known some very, very amazing kids that could have been very competitive kids like you talked about, but that was stifled. And they were put all the competition into video games. And then they have no social interaction. They don't like losing. They can always turn the game off and restart again when they lose.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to say about not letting what Tom said really well, not letting people down. You know what I mean? Crud. I have to face that person and look at my teammates if they lose a game because I didn't do good enough in school. It's huge, and it's I think that the coach sometimes become the second dad, like Coach Sinclair. I mean, he was talking about how he became sometimes a dad to these kids because they didn't have that structure. So
And talking to those parents who may be looking for other options. I mean, we talked about this a little bit last week. It's just like it takes a village, right? That's what
exactly.
Like you said. And as a parent, you got to just acknowledge it. We're all winging this thing at the end of the day, right? And the more positive influences you can surround your kid with is only going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
And that is just readily available through sports because guess what? That coach wants your kid to win and succeed and learn and grow, you know?
And the parents don't have to be super athletes to have their kids in sports.
Absolutely.
That's a key.
Yeah.
All
That's
parents
such a good
thinks that they have to be an athlete at some sort in their life, and you don't have to be to get your kids involved in sports at all.
Just get them out.
Yeah.
I think also when you bring your kid in, it's having the right motivation for having your child there as well.
Yeah.
We're not there you're not bringing your kid to win.
Yeah.
You're bringing
Yeah.
your kid to learn.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think we get a lot of
Yeah.
misinterpretation with our children that we brought them here to win.
We project our own
We
issues on
want to
them.
see them win.
Yeah.
And going back to losing, you learn the most when you lose.
Yeah.
Because when you lose, and then you start winning, it means so much more.
It does.
I went through in my youth career 3 straight seasons of losing, and I hold this in my heart all the time. When I was a senior in high school, we spent years of losing. I walk off the bus senior year of high school to play for 3rd in state in my group for soccer, and it meant the world to me to just be on the thing playing for 3rd place. Now most people look at 3rd like that's not a big deal, but in high school ball, 3rd place is being there for 3rd place is a big
good.
Exactly. I'm gonna tell you, I didn't play a minute of the game. Didn't play a minute of the game.
You got experience.
But I got to be there, and I was part of the team, and my teammates needed me to motivate them to be better. I needed to be there to motivate myself to be better.
Yeah.
And I'm a 3rd in state champion.
There you go.
Didn't play a second of the game.
It's all right.
Gave more water to people than I did kick the ball around.
But it's still
But
camaraderie in there.
I was there. It was with my buddies. We worked hard all season long. We all had to lose to get there, and it's one of those. It's tough to lose, but we learn so much from it all. And I look at all my soccer teammates. All of them in life have been successful people because they know how to lose, and they know how to celebrate when they get their victories. It's not expectation isn't to win. The expectation is to work hard.
Yeah. And and it's you even see it now. I was talking to some ladies in one of your Group X classes, and it was really cool to see because one lady was talking about how, man, I love this class. I've never been an athlete before in my life. I was always afraid of sports. And then you hear a couple of the ladies around her saying, yeah, I played sports my whole life. You're doing wonderful. You're doing awesome. And they were almost treating her like an athlete she always wanted to be. And you can see the people sort of lift her up. And that's why she's coming. It's because those people all had that base taught to them when they were younger. Now they're filling into this person when they're older. And it was pretty cool seeing that, like, that's my goodness. And so then I asked them, like, so what did you do? And like, they all talked about youth sports. All those ladies that were encouraging was youth sports. This lady was wounded. You could definitely tell she was wounded. But it was really cool to see them come around her. And she's going to come from now on, forever. Just for even if the workout stinks, she just wants to be around those ladies because now she feels like part of a team. And it's because those people will learn that at a younger age, and then they're helping her out. So it's super important.
I think so. That's something that sports also kind of taught you on top of being competitive, and everything like that. But being the best version of yourself, and not in the aspect of I'm the fastest I've ever been, I'm the strongest I've ever been. And that plays a part, but also the aspect of how I can handle my losses, how I can interact with other people, even when I, on my team, even when I may not like them the best, but I can appropriately, be the way I need to be around them. I can work together with them for the time being, kind of put our differences aside, work together. And I think that helps just in life as general, just like you talked about with her. She may not have been an athlete her whole life, but they have grown up trying to be the best version of themselves, and that includes trying to build other people up around them.
Exactly. And it's interesting. I was talking to a young man when I was building a fitness facility. I was just hard on him. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. I can do it. Great. Yeah, I'm ready to go. And he was like succeeding. I said, man, I'm hard on you. I've tried to break you. And I said, you tell me that you've lost both your parents when you were younger. How in the world did you handle it? And he goes, well, my coach. He said, when I was 5 years old, I had a soccer coach that told me I'm not a quitter. And he said, that affected him. I'm like, 5? Are you kidding me?
Wow.
But it affected him all the way to that point. He goes, yeah, I always talk about, I forgot the coach's name. I mean, personally, I forgot the coach's name. But he'd always say, yeah, so-and-so told me and developed me. I'm like, holy cow. You're like 23 years old, and at 5, that made that impact on you. And so I think it's amazing what youth sports can do to develop us. And you never know what impact you have on your kids will have on sports, what coaches will have on your kids, and it's amazing. So I think this was a fantastic topic. I think you guys all sort of boosted me up. I was exhausted beforehand, so thank you all for carrying me along here. It's all a team effort, right? It's all a team effort. Yep. So I think as we're going to be shutting this down soon, I would love us to all sort of talk about what maybe we can want to say really important, and now I like to end it this way every time, is what we're talking about. We have people watching and listening and continuing listening past what the video is on YouTube or on Facebook to YouTube. And these people are saying, how does it apply to me? And if we can all just sort of say one individual thing and just state maybe what would be really possible, you think would be a possible impact on that parent, child, or the struggling kid that feels like, man, I just can't I just can't make it through here. I'm all alone. So what do you think you guys want to do an imparting comment, and then we can basically say thank you. So.
I think to be positive for your kid. If he has a bad game or he's has something where the sport didn't go right for him, to be positive for him. Always build him up. Always be positive.
I think a big thing for parents to learn is sports don't define who your kid is. The skills you get from sports define who your kid is.
Absolutely.
Don't ever call your kid a great basketball player.
Yep.
Tell him he's a good basketball player, and the skills he's learning from that will help him as she continues in life.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
And understanding that, you know, you should surround yourself, doing these sports, you are surrounding yourself with decent people who are going to build your kid up and kind of help them be the best that they can be.
Yeah.
And just encouraging, you know, like I tell my kids, you're only a kid once in life.
Yeah.
You know, and what are you going to do with it? You know, how are you going to get them to the next step, you know, and letting them figure it out. So just encouraging them, you know, still love them, you know, still discipline them, but, you know, let them know there's better things out there that they can be around.
And I think a big thing too is, you know, don't project yourself so much on your children, your own fears. Allow them to play the game. Allow them to be a part of something that, yeah, you might have been picked on when you were in school, but that might not happen with your child, so don't project it to them. Allow them to have their falls, allow them to have their fails, and watch. If you might be a disconnected parent, watch that coach help take over. Maybe you'll start getting involved in soccer and become more an engaged parent, then you'll have something to talk about at that point. It could definitely help change your family. So do we have any other imparting comments that we feel that's super important?
I'll just say, you know, obviously our topic is very biased towards sports because it's not the only extracurricular activity out there. But and I hope maybe you guys agree with me, but I truly believe that sports is the best extracurricular activity.
Yes.
Absolutely.
To learn life lessons, and I'm not going to throw any other options under the bus or anything, but just the life lessons, the teamwork, the community, the work ethic, the drive, how to win, how to lose. I can go on and on and on. I just think sports, whatever the sport is, it could be any sport, because you learn a lot of those same life lessons through any sport, specifically team sports. I'm going to go out there. So I'm just gonna say when as a parent evaluating all the extracurricular activities, because we only got a certain amount of time in the day, I really would consider sports to be the best outlet for kids.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Well, first of all, Wayne, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you for being a part of it.
Anytime.
Thank you for making our team better.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate you. You know, please stay tuned. We got some awesome subjects to talk about in the next episode, or hopefully delving in what it looks like physically for a child to change and develop with team sports. Hopefully that'll be our topic next time. But please tune in again. Thank you again, Wayne. Thank you guys for being a part of this. Thank you, Tom. And hopefully we'll have something, definitely we'll have something exciting. Hopefully, what am I talking about? Definitely we'll have something exciting for you guys next time. And please tune in. It's going to be awesome.